guys. How are you? Good evening. I hope you guys are having a good evening. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I just put up a poll. That's why I played the intro. Sometimes I don't play an intro over here because y'all don't seem to be into it, but that's okay. Sometimes when I'm doing an intro, it's just because I need a couple extra minutes and I don't want to be late. But guys, what is Nesto's biggest problem, y'all? Is he the El Chapo and Don Juan of Atlanta? That's what his son was saying. Y'all, Dad, Pop, they got you like El Chapo and Don Juan of Atlanta. Is he the El Chapo and Don Juan of Atlanta? Is he? Is he? I don't know. We're gonna talk about it tonight. You guys let me know. Look, today was teacher work day. And so it's National Daughter Day, which was nice. Our daughter was home. My husband was home. We had business to handle today. So after I got off live earlier, I did a reaction to the phone call that Phone Calls from Prison dropped yesterday. And we did that. If you hadn't seen it yet, it's posted on my channel. He's El Stupido. Okay, Keisha Marie, I see you, boo boo. Thank you and welcome to everyone coming in. I'm going to say hi to everyone in just a second. He loves the attention because he's a narcissist. So it's his superhero complex for you. Oh, girl, let me hit start the poll. I'm sorry. My God. I typed it out and everything. Okay. Y'all, what's Nesto's biggest problem? Is it Fulton County in the state of Georgia? That's what I would say. Four wives. Is it Buckhead and victims? Is it his superhero complex? Which one is it, guys? There's 215 of us in the house. Go ahead and vote, vote, vote. I'm sure someone's going to say all of the above. I think his biggest so far in the running right now is Fulton County in the state of Georgia because he got problems. He got lots of problems. So we were out and Chronicle Speaks dropped another piece about the fourth wife. Okay, Edith. He's coming with these names: Edith, damn Martha, Carol, Shirley. Okay. Um, and he's a snitch. So I got a couple of messages. I have not been over there to Pam Esquire's channel yet. But definitely we know that Pam is bringing the receipts. You know, Pam is a attorney and sis is girl, the documents don't lie, right? So apparently he was helpful. Let's say he was helpful to the state. But the funny thing to me was finding out. Let's kind of go through. I did write somewhat of a list, but I don't even think when I wrote this list that I knew about the fourth wife at that time. Let me see what I wrote down. Okay. My list from today was: is Shirley Thug Mrs. This is what I've got on the agenda. We'll be here all night if we get through all of this. First of all, the title is Nesto and Atlanta. Jail calls, four wives, six kids, one divorce, one mobile barbershop, and Shirley Strawberry. Okay, that's a lot right there. Hey, Tessie. Hey, boo boo. I found charges in North Carolina for bank robbery that coincides with Kentucky lockup. Girl, is Shirley Thug Mrs. Where is the money? Where is Shirley's paycheck? Can we just talk about that, pineapples? Where, doesn't Shirley, you are on the baddest radio show in the land, unless Steve Harvey is not paying folk. But I saw Carla and her daughter were over there to Beyonce's. They had girl, they were being escorted by security to their seats, and they look like they are living fine over at the Pharrell home. And Tommy looks like he's living just fine. Shirley is over there in the back room. Sis, where is your paycheck? Don't you get a good check? Why would you have to be living in the back of somebody's house? That's what I want to know. Does that make sense, y'all? Isn't that weird? How is she spending how do you not even just have, she's got to be bringing in at least at the minimum 15 to 20,000 a month. She makes six figures. So at the minimum, if you make six figures, you're making at least $9,000 to $10,000 a month, which I know she's not making $100,000. She's been in radio for over 30 years. She's just got to make at least 20, 25. Where is your paycheck? And then, okay, the evictions. I said we would go over to the TMZ story. I said, well, this is what I said to myself: pull up at least one of like the Atlanta news stories because he's been tripping so hard over getting news coverage at the time frame of these calls. It's hilarious. She has liens and bad credit. Oh, she has a garnishment. Oh, they're taking her check. Ooh, well, should I take that one off the list, sis? Where is your paycheck, guys? We have solved that mystery. The paycheck is garnished. Okay. Thank you, sis. Okay, girl, everybody, y'all, this is such a smart crowd. We're gonna get through this list pretty fast. Okay. Pineapple said something funny today. I forgot what it was in the chat. You said something, girl, something about that it was painful, like the Ernesto's conversation. It was just like painful to watch because he's so like uh he's that conversation was so funny today. I could not. If you guys did not watch the reaction to phone calls from prisons video yesterday, go check it out. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, Love Lies and Lace Fronts, where we do reactions, reviews, and commentary on the YouTube channels you love to watch, get into it because you guys know that Phone Calls from Prison is a channel you love to watch. So go check it out. I did a reaction on that video, and it was this morning. So bright and early. I'm usually going live doing reactions over there. Definitely Shirley and Ernesto are on the menu over there, but I definitely have other content that we speak on. But if you like a good reaction video, like to get a laugh in the morning, come and check us out in the mornings over on Love Lies and Lace Fronts. Anyway, okay, so Shirley's paycheck has been garnished. Okay. Let me share this though, because the right before we left out, there was a sis. I don't know if she's here right now or not, but sis dropped a comment that I was like, wow, okay. And it coincides with maybe some of my list, but it was a very good question. And I said, let me capture this because I think we need to talk about this when we reconvene this evening, so we can talk about it. Because I felt like it kind of, I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about that since we just talked about where's Shirley's paycheck. Um, Here we go. Let me share my screen. Um, okay. Let's share my screen and let's see. So Bougie Champagne Crew Reviews said my only. Well, let's just go back to when she dropped that. Let's see. I was like, yo, I gotta come back. Wait, hold on. Let me fix this. I'm sorry. Let me fix my sound because I don't want it to um echo. Like on this one. We'll talk about this one on Real Talk Bougie. I was like, okay, great question from the sis. So I was like, yo, I gotta come back on this one. We'll talk about this one on Real Talk Bougie. I will go ahead and girl, let's pin this one. That's a great question. And sis, you came out the bushes with a whole show at the end of the show. But let's pin it and we're gonna talk about it when we go over to Real Talk Bougie. Bougie Princess, excuse me, Bougie Champagne Crew Reviews asks, my only question is, what did they do with the money? Where is it? Why were they behind on rent and being evicted if they had access to so much money? Where is the money? Sis, we on the credits, but we're going to talk about it. We will talk about it. We will talk about it. And thank you for asking. Okay, so you guys heard that was the question. Where did the money go? I mean, it doesn't seem like they were ever kind of like, let Shirley tell it, like they've always seemed to be broke. But I would imagine when Shirley met Nesto, she was doing okay. I mean, when you look at her timeline and her feed, I mean, she may not have had money flowing and maybe she was always bad with money. Who knows? However, Well, so let's remember, she said Ernesto asked her about her credit when they first got together. So maybe her credit wasn't all that. I don't know. So Shirley seemed to have a taste for designer. She had, she was accessorized and always wore nice clothing. I've gone through her timeline. And at the end of the day, maybe she just was always bad with money, but I just can't imagine at this point, girl, she's making at least $600. Like, okay. I mean, maybe I don't know what kind of a portion of her check they leave her with, but it must be pretty sad to be in your career probably 40 years now. I mean, she was in Chicago when Oprah was in Chicago. Who else was in Chicago? Damn, Jerry Springer. Like, there's been a lot of talent to come out of Chicago. Shouts out to anybody who's in Chicago. But she was in Chicago when OWN started, and I guess I'm assuming OWN is still there. Like, ma'am, you've been in broadcasting a long time, and it's sad that she has nothing to show for it. Did she invest in his business? I'm sure she invested in his business whether she wanted to or not. um I'm quite sure they were intermingling money. Oh, 600K. Okay, so if let's just entertain that she's making 600,000. Off the top of my head, that sounds like about 50,000 a month. Okay. So OWN left Chicago, but in the heyday of Chicago, let's just say in the 2000s, the late 90s, 2000s, when she was over there on Doug Banks. Come on now. I mean, not even just that she needed to get a job at OWN. I'm just talking about just the intermingling of the professionals in the Chicago area. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. And I mean, hey, she's on the Steve Harvey program, right? So she is well placed, but it's like, where is the money, sis? To the sis's point who asked the question, where is the money? What did you do with your money? And the answer might be she got with that ninja. She got with Ernesto, and she's blown through it. Her credit is shot. They've got the evictions, and everything is messed up. Okay, so let's talk about what happened today. So this is what we know so far. Ernesto is a bigamist. I had someone in my comments like laughing and was like, "Bigamy is not a crime anymore, not a felony." It absolutely is. Marriage is a legal state where you get tax benefits, you get all different kinds of. You have legal right over another human's, life and say and power. Somewhat kind of de facto power of attorney and things of that nature. Marriage is definitely it's not just like, oh, some relationship that we just came together. Marriage is a serious union, and being married to more than one person is a crime, and it's a felony, and it's a felony in Georgia, and it's a felony that you can be indicted and potentially convicted for, correct? um at the end of the day, so now it's come out. Chronicle Speaks did report on someone who came to her and identified themselves as a wife and was not sure, and said, come back to me with your paperwork. I just assumed she was talking about Carol, right? No, she was talking about Edith. Edith is from the 80s. He married Martha, I guess, in the early 2000s. I think maybe 2001, 2002. I'm going to be off on some of these dates. Um, Carol was somewhere in the 20, like, let's just say 2008, 20 something. The only marriage that would have been legal would have been his first marriage. Every subsequent marriage was a sham. Um, I don't know. I don't know what Shirley knows. I don't know what Shirley knows, but I know this. She's got to be devastated just at the sheer embarrassment of this dude that you married. And he was out here living high profile, somewhat, you know what I mean? With a high profile radio chick and married to everybody. It's like, damn, sir. I don't know if you guys ever saw this movie with Alec Baldwin called The Marrying Man. I mean, he is a marrying ass man. My God. So anyway, that's the tea that came out today. Wife number 4, who was actually wife number 1. So Shirley, sis, you are wife number 4. And who thought she was wife number 1 is wife number 2. Um, Wife number 2 is now wife number 3. Shirley is wife number 4. Um, Now wife number 3 did get a divorce. But it's just something like this that happens. It's just obvious about how our municipalities, this computer systems do not talk to each other, and how someone can actually get away with marrying multiple people. I know I've only been married one time, and I know that when we did our marriage license, the city that we live in has it online. It was like you had to sit down at the kiosk and fill in the forms, and once you hit send, you walk over to the clerk. And then the clerk pulls everything up, went through everything that we put in there, and then basically made us swear at that moment. I think that's why people feel like, oh, we're married at that moment, because you have like that certain amount of time to actually go and have your ceremony. But after we filled out the form, they made us swear that everything on our documents were true, and we had to have documentation of a divorce. My husband was married once before, and we had to provide that documentation. And then you have to like swear to everything. They make you attest and swear to whatever it was. I don't remember what the whole swearing was. And then they gave us the document that we had to hand to the pastor to be able to get married, right? And then that form is signed by the pastor who officiates, and then your 2 witnesses, your best man and your maid of honor or matron of honor, whomever you have signed your document, and the officiant mails that document in, and then you get your certificate of marriage. That's what I remember. It's been almost 10 years. Um, but I do remember we had to provide documents, but I don't know that there's some supercomputer that they could look at to see, like, is everything factual? They basically are, it's the honor system when you fill out those papers that what you're saying is true. Edith is wife number 1. Martha is wife number 2. Martha is the one who divorced. Carol divorced. Okay, thank you. I forgot. Yeah, Martha is the one who they were hit and miss divorcing. Like, she filed for divorce, then Ernesto filed for divorce, and then she finally came along, or then the state deposed it, and then she had to come back. So yes, so Edith was number 1. Somewhere in the late 80s, early 90s. Martha has been, that was a marriage that ended, I think, in 2021. But they were back and forth with the divorces. Thank you, Lonnie, for clearing that. I appreciate it. Carol came and left. She was in, she was out. She divorced after 2 years. And Shirley has been with this dude for 9 years now. Well, almost 9 years, coming up this January, and a mess. Um, oh, you know what I'm saying? Shirley still, so Martha and Carol are in the clear, even though they did marry a bigamist. It doesn't, even though they're divorced, he could still be a serial bigamist. I mean, 1 wife, 2 wife, 3 wives, 4 wives, um, a mess. So yeah, that's the tea, guys. I don't know if anyone else is gonna come out of the woodwork on this dude, about his shenanigans of marriage, but that is crazy. So Chronicle Speaks did say, so apparently there must be a child in that initial marriage, because she said 5 out of his 6 kids were born in I guess bigamous relationships. I don't know. Let's just say that he has one child with the wife. That's my assumption, is that he had one child with his wife. Does anybody know that for facts? If maybe his oldest is the child of Edith. And then I don't know if the other two, because I don't know the lineup of the six children and who the mothers are. I mean, this guy is it's like almost surpassed Steve Harvey at this point. It's almost surpassing Shirley. Ernesto is becoming somewhat of like a internet phenomenon where, because I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like Steve Harvey basically did the Jedi mind trick and got himself totally out of the conversation with Shirley doing that Fugazi strawberry letter and basically making this all her fault, right? I will start taking Tyler's advice about dating down when he comes completely out of the closet. Oh, okay. Ernest, these YouTube journalists just got you some more charges on your son's words. Girl, the street cred. Girl, El Chapo, is he the El Chapo and Don Juan of Atlanta? That's what his son said. Okay. And so shouts out to everybody who's here. I didn't get a chance to say hi to everyone as y'all came in. So my bad, y'all. Um, let me see if I can track back from the beginning. But thank you to all of the moderators that are here. Thank you to everyone who's come over from Love Lies and Lace Fronts. Thank you, India. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you to everyone, AK, Alice. Thank you. Is it Lashandra? Lashonda Davis. Thank you, sis. Tony, Thessie, Lex, Laura, Ebony, Blessed Lady. Unita Sims. I hope I got that right. Waiting for you. Life of Leisure. HBB, what's going on? Tammy, Just Gabby, Nail Gigi. Um, HBB, how are you? Laura, Keisha, Ebony. It's going to be too many to name, but I thank all of you guys for coming through. Okay. So El Chapo and Don Juan, if you're wondering about that, that came from the reaction, or that came from the video that the good folks over at Phone Calls from Prison dropped yesterday. It was funny. Um, Ernesto got a call. He was talking to Lamont, and he and Lamont, the thing about that phone call to me was that it was a supportive call and it was actually like a real conversation. There's so much time that he spends on the phone with Shirley and Sonia, giving them errands to run and people to call and money to put on the books and everything. The thing for me is that Ernesto, when he's talking to the ladies, he keeps them real busy with tasks. Okay. They got stuff to do or they're complaining about something. This was a nice break to have a conversation, like actually listen to a conversation that wasn't necessarily focused on sending someone on some sort of errand and to call the damn lawyer's office and all that stuff. So that was interesting to me. Um, I feel like when I listened back to the call, there were some things that I heard that I was like, I got to talk to everybody about that tonight. And now I can't remember what they were. But it's like when they're talking long, you know what I mean? I always feel like if you let people talk enough, they're going to tell their secrets, right? Let's see. Okay, let me tell, I wonder if they're going to take him to a grand jury and just try to compile the financial crimes and then anything else. Put all of the capital offenses that have to do with the aggravated sexual assaults and all of those things into one thing, and then maybe the financial crimes onto another thing. I don't really know. Lamont spoke up for Shirley. He did. He really did. So that was refreshing, right? That at least someone had some care and compassion for her. But all the while, Lamont did say, I got something for you when you get out. Like I got something strange, for you. Let's pivot to King Mozzie. So the receipt that I dropped a day or so ago about the guy who was in Shirley's comments warning her to not marry Ernesto because he did a transaction with Ernesto for a bus and Ernesto was not able to give him the title. He gave him a check for $15,000. Who buys a bus for $15,000? I don't know what buses go for, but I would think that they would be more than $15,000. But the man said, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, it's in the playlist. But there's a guy named King Mazi who basically said that he did a transaction with Nesto, and Nesto owed him $15,000 or a title. And in the post, basically, he says that he got a check from Ernesto, and Ernesto started coming with the excuses of why he could not provide the documentation, I guess, for King Mazi to go and get his registration and his license plates and things like that. So he said, first, the excuse was Shirley. Shirley has it. I'll get it to you. Then it was, my son just got arrested and I'm busy handling that and I'll get to you. And then he said, now it's been a year later. I gave him his money and the man can't do anything with the bus. So we don't really know whatever happened to King Mazi. If King Mazi's in the bushes somewhere, hopefully he'll reach out, send an email, something to let us know how and whatever happened. But I'm wondering if that's the bus that we're seeing in some of the videos that he sold. But, I don't know. It could be a different bus. We don't know. The infamous Sylvia went to Ernie hearing today and has an update. Okay, I'll have to go over there and see what she had to say. So clearly she's in that area, so that's good. Okay. Um went to Ernie. So was he actually in court today or was it Zoom court? Um okay, so I guess I'll go over there and see. I don't So you think he's a pimp? So the sex trafficking. So the word on the street is that Nesto's barber shop or Nesto's mobile or the bus or the box truck, all of these mobile situations that he had, the RV, were fronts for a potential gentleman's type club arrangement where you could, do whatever you wanted to do. And that does kind of coincide with the conversation that he had with Sonia when Sonia was talking about there was someone who had a club in Los Angeles, and they had like a little bit of a hotel, like a Max and Relax lounge upstairs that you could take your friend upstairs if you so choose to. Like it just seemed like they're on the seedier side of legitimate businesses, and that was the accusation from Roswell County, was that there were shell businesses being run with kind of for nefarious reasons, and some of which could have been prostitution and sex trafficking and human trafficking. So people who are so not only that you are sex trafficking, but you're also trafficking folk there against their will, or people felt like they did not have the ability to leave or are being forced into doing things that they did not intend to do. So that was the rub. So if you saw the scenes on Married to Medicine where the doctors' husbands or some of the doctors and the doctor husbands and combination of both, some of them were husbands and doctors, um went to Nesto's. Apparently there were a team of women and it was kind of like a burlesque type situation, but allegedly there was more than that going on there. Nesto's, the original Nesto's in Buckhead, is allegedly the business of Carol's. You guys, if I'm getting anything wrong, set me straight. Sylvia is in Atlanta per, let's see, gun running. Okay, so he's selling guns and he's a felon. Interesting. Well, that unarmed security wasn't quite unarmed. I can drop the phone link or the call in. I'm like phone link. Hey Taylor, hey boo boo. I will drop the link. So if any of you guys want to call in, let's try to keep it like right at 5 minutes. Like drop your comment, drop your question. just so if a lot of people, if there are people who want to, but I want to try to bring one person up at a time. So if you have a comment or question, feel free. I did drop it on all platforms because we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So I don't know who's going to want to call in, but just um, I will have. I meant shaking the tables. Funny. Okay. Why Ernesto can't be around animals? So part of the sex charges, the child pornography charges, let's put it that way, the depiction in the uh corn, well, I'm going to say, um if you I mean, it's hard to even believe, but trust and believe, like in the affidavits, the arrest affidavits, the depiction of what is in the corn is of adolescents doing sexual acts with four-legged creatures. Okay. I mean, it's really kind of hard to talk about because it's just absolutely heinous. So, yeah. hmm Now, they were not pictures of him, but he was in possession of that type of imagery, which is illegal. And what the psychology around some of that is that if you're looking at it, you're probably not far from doing it. So, and also it depicts a crime because you have an adolescent, um and also bestiality is also, it's absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it's pretty gross. He is accused of, and remember his lawyer, the public defender, in one of the first bail hearings that we saw, like tried to poo-poo it as one image, but then Majeski said that there were at least four, and then ADA Taylor said that there were well over 30. So it was quite a bit. Okay, sorry about that. So he's got a problem. So he's into some sort of deviant sexual. He's got a deviant sexual interest. And that's another reason why they're calling him dangerous, because that's, shit is weird. Okay, like no matter, a lot of people wouldn't want people to know what interests them, but when you start entering farm animals and dogs and things like that, it's absolutely disgusting, right? And then people who are not able to make a decision for themselves because they are underage. And basically, the document stated that they can tell that the person's underage based on, they were giving body descriptions and hand sizes and just kind of depicting the body parts and stating that that is, consistent with someone of an age group of like 14 to 16 and things like that. Just weird shit. And when you see things like that, those could be people that are missing. Those could be children that are missing from their homes, that parents are waiting to get word about. Like when you see pictures like that, which none of us will because most people will never see anything like that, but imagery like that, um, the story behind it is so bad it's really hard to even talk about. But you guys know those are missing and exploited children. So it's very, very bad. But yeah, that's the animal thing. Yeah. He's definitely that. To me, now I don't know what happened with Shirley's daughter and the grandkids. Allegedly, there could be more. My thought initially was that when she got to Roswell and they told her about what was in his computer, that would have freaked me out enough that I wouldn't want to have anything to do with him. So hopefully there was no violation of the grandchildren, but I don't know that for facts, just to be honest. But it could have been that after they were notified. Now, I have also heard, out here in on other channels that the word on the street was that he did have some sort of situation with potentially two of his own children, which is this guy is a bad guy. You know what I mean? Forget about El Chapo Don Juan. He's he's a sexual deviant. He's an awful guy. If what they're saying is true and he violated two of his own kids, he's a horrible human being. So, to glamorize it to some sort of notorious drug dealer and Mr. Lover Lover man, there's nothing Mr. Lover Lover man about violating your children. That's absolutely heinous and gross. And I think that it was just unfortunate. I think he was banking on the fact that he was just kind of riding the coattails of the women that were kind of trying to help support him in one way or another through business and probably just that mouth of his. It just really is hard to believe that someone who can barely formulate a sentence could manage to get these women to do so much for him, either through favor, credit, money, sex, any of these things. I have, it's awful. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that when people find out what he's been up to, he's not going to have an easy time. And maybe that's why they moved him out of Fulton County. That was something I was curious about. Is was there like an overcrowding problem as to why they moved him out of Fulton, or did they feel like Fulton was just too dangerous with what he had going on, or is there just too much going on in Fulton that he would be into the wrong stuff? That they said, like, let's send him over to Cobb because maybe it's like a little bit calmer over there. Can you imagine the ratings if this was all over the TV? I cannot. The fact that Shirley is kind of like a fringe, she's known in the community. Steve Harvey having such a large audience, people know Shirley Strawberry. Shirley Strawberry is also a black woman who's had a quite extensive career in radio. So a lot of people do know her. She is a celebrity. Now, does everybody know who Shirley Strawberry is? No, because if I would say she is I don't want to say she's exclusive to the black community, but she's definitely known in the radio community. She's known in the black community, obviously. Um and I think she's known by people who enjoy the Steve Harvey show. And for as many people as there are, that's still not enough for her to be like A-list celebrity, but she has notoriety, right? And yeah, I just think that if this, like Nicki Minaj's husband, great example, right? Great, like Kenneth Petty is a problem, but Nicki, she deals with it how she deals with it, right? Um I mean, is he worse than Kenneth Petty? I don't know. Kenneth Petty is a problem too, but I obviously Kenneth Petty. If we were to say Kenneth Petty versus Ernesto, well, Kenneth Petty might win, even though he's got 120 days house arrest for, threatening Offset. So, you would think that a man and his wife is worth millions, and all he really has to do is be a supportive husband and father, would not be out here trolling another working man, a man who's actually working and supporting his busy wife as well. Like they are a busy team working. Meanwhile, Kenneth just really has to be there for Nikki. That's his job. We have 306 who have voted. We have almost 800 guys. Let your voice be heard. What is Nesto's biggest problem, guys? So far, 307 of you have voted. What's his biggest problem? 56%, rightfully so, say Fulton County in the state of Georgia. I mean, I should have put California too because he's got Cali charges. Is it his four wives? Is it the fact that he is still married to his first wife of over 30 years? Um, but he's still a bigamist to one, two, three, because married wife number two, wife number three, and wife number four, already still married to wife number one. Are the bigamy charges going to just take him over the top because he stands to, I don't know. So I guess she could, I don't know what the first wife is, that alienation of affection, but they would have had to have known that they were sleeping with a married or with a married man, so that might not count. But it's at least 3 bigamy, and those are felonies in Georgia with 1 to 10 years to just add on to the situation. Is it the victims of Buckhead and Atlanta and everything? Is it King Mozzie who may still be waiting for a bus that he purchased that he cannot title and cannot register and cannot insure because he gave a $15,000 check and Ernesto was in the wind and would not respond to messages, texts, phone numbers, calls, nothing? Um, is it just Ernesto himself? Is Ernesto's biggest problem? What is it, guys? Um, what did you say, Vanessa? Wait. Oh, Vanesto, biggest problem is the lack of animal control. He needs to just leave the animals alone. I can't even talk about it. When I look at my babies, my little fur babies, it's like, seriously? That's absolutely disgusting. Like, it's even just hard to think about, which makes it, I think the Fulton County, rightfully so, finds him to be a dangerous individual. It's gross. It's absolutely gross. Um, they say that there are some financial crimes in California, but they're not looking to extradite him. So they're like, when y'all done, I'm paraphrasing, but when y'all are done over there, let us know, and then we'll see about it. They're not looking to extradite. They're Californians like, look, we're busy. So whenever you're done with him, let us know and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. But if he and they also may be looking at the case to say, you know what? This guy has so much going on. If he gets convicted on everything, this is just ceremonial at this point. One thing for sure, Shirley needs to solicit a movie deal with all the players and get her bag up. But that Shirley is on some I'm embarrassed. So she would need to take this as a blessing of I'm free and he's been exposed and you know what I mean? It's all in how you are going to take this in if you're going to see this as a victim, which she is a victim, rightfully so. If she look, there's so many twists and turns to this because a lot of you guys out here, there's so much going on. So back to my list, guys. Is Shirley Thug Mrs.? I think some of you guys out here think that Shirley had to have known something because on some of these phone calls, Shirley is definitely talking in code. There's things she doesn't want to say, and there's things that she is holding back. She's not just like how I'm sitting with you guys right now, just having a conversation. She's being very specific in the things that she is saying and not saying, right? And let me see if I can pull this up. Let me pull up my player. Just a second. Okay, player. They cracked me up in that phone call. That phone call was entertaining to me. Okay, let's see if I've got uh I'll have to do this like okay. Okay. Just one second. I'm trying to pull something up. Yeah, Shirley, is she Thug Mrs.? I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think she's Thug Mrs. or what? Um, because there's some people out here that really don't believe um they don't believe Shirley. They don't believe they do not believe that she was unaware of everything. For as much code as Shirley was, it seems like she might be speaking in. I don't know. I don't really know what to think about that. Charleston White, I still have to watch a video that Assist sent me. So is it true Charleston White money got taken also? They said he got him for, you have to go over Charleston White to be able to really validate that. I have not, I have not watched his complete live to really be able to speak on it, and have his words of what he says happened with him and Ernesto. But the talk is that Ernesto got him in some sort of $1 million deal. And I don't know if that's real estate. But I would definitely go over to Charleston White's channel and go check it out, because there are people who are saying that he's everything that they're saying he is. Her radio personality is known. All them friends who really know her backed away. Shirley knew more than we think. She spoke about past forgiveness. So look, and then she's Thug Mrs. She felt like people were jealous of her. I was like, Shirley, seriously? People are jealous of Ernesto? You got to be kidding. You got to be kidding on this. Nobody is jealous of no Nesto. Okay. But I think that he was spending a lot of time pumping her head up so that she would start to eventually separate herself from her friends and people that were trying to talk sense to her. Ernesto is too sloppy with his wife. Shirley had to see something, even by mistake. I'm sure something has got to be clicking in that head of hers about what she potentially missed, and where she kind of lost herself. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, sis has to know, like, ma'am, you lost your, like, how did you lost yourself, sis? Like, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Wait, like, mm-mm. you That went completely not the way you wanted it to. Let me see. I'm trying to find this playlist. Um, there's just so many times that we've heard Shirley talking, and it's just nothing but code. It's nothing but, well, I don't want to say too much, or um, you know, okay, okay, you don't have to say anything. I'm okay. Um, I don't know. It to me is definitely a little bit of a head scratcher, like, Shirley, girl, it just doesn't sound very good. Like, why can't you finish a sentence? Why are you holding back on saying certain things? If you feel like your husband was operating above board and wasn't doing anything illegal, why is it a problem to say certain things? She's got to know that there's things that probably don't put him in a good light. And that's the reason why, when they're on these phone calls, she's holding back saying certain things. Like, it's just obvious, right? She's a fool in love. If she uses his likeness in any movie or book deal, he's going to have to be paid. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wonder what the ramifications are about that, about him actually being able to tell his story too. But even if they cut him a check, so what? You know what I mean? You can't worry about, dimes. You can't worry about like step over dollars. What is the expression? She can't, like, if she were going, like, if this were really going to be a big deal, I don't think paying him a few bucks that he'll never get a hold of, or that's going to go into his meal account at the jail, or potentially the state would end up garnishing anyway for the victims of the Ernesto fund. So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even worry about that. I would let him get his check and let the state garnish it for his victims. You know what I mean? That might be looked at as a goodwill, for him to be able to produce some sort of an income to pay back people that he fleeced. I don't think that she's speaking in code. She would ask questions and he would shut her down. Okay. I feel like there were a couple times that she wanted to say certain things and he would quiet her down, or maybe she would think maybe it's just not appropriate to say. Maybe I'll just send him an email. I appreciate her says makes her feel like Shirley is truly that naive and she's a true airhead. I listened to her reading the commercials. Beautiful voice, articulate in conversations, not so much. Okay, absolutely. I'm praying for Miss Strawberry's mental health. I do too. I mean, I'm sure this is a lot, but she's got to realize now whether she is completely was absolutely naive to this situation. Sis, you missed a few things. Okay, you missed a few things, and it's so today's another day. But people are going to hold you accountable. I mean, some people are going to say, oh, bless her heart, she didn't know. And some people are still going to give her the business. And it is what it is. And she's going to have to take all of it. At the end of the day, everybody is not going to say, bless your little pointy head. Sometimes people are going to feel like, ma'am, wake up. You know what I'm saying? If your husband doesn't come home for 3 days, it's a problem. It's not okay for your husband to clear out your bank account. It's not okay for him to run your name. It's not okay for your name to be. Listen to what we've heard. We've heard her say that the police told her that her ring could have been purchased with a bad check. We've heard her say, your name is on a lot of documents and we think they're forged. When do you pipe up and say, I didn't sign any documents? What documents? Like, if someone told me that my name was on a bunch of stuff, I would have immediate questions. Questions. I would be asking, what? But you don't want to go down to the police department? That sounds weird. If someone says, hey, Black Snake Moan, you got your wife down there in the pokey, we found like 1,000 documents and we think that your name has been forged. That's your opportunity to say, damn straight, it has been because I haven't signed anything. Or let me come down there and see. I don't know. We did buy a house. We did buy a car. We did do something. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but you choose to continually not go downtown. So it does make things a little bit suspicious. Like, you don't need to go because you already know, or you don't want to know. You don't want to deal with it. I guess that was you were afraid that you were going to hear something you didn't want to hear, and that's legitimate. I don't know. I really cannot wait for this case to go to trial. I cannot wait for them to get all of the final indictments. If they need to go to a grand jury, Blake Snakeman, you think she knew something? Maybe not everything, but his co-defendant is the next door neighbor. Make it make sense, y'all. Absolutely. This is going to be a good ass trial. Okay. This is going to be a good one. All right. I cannot wait. Rhonda Ebony Steele is somewhere thanking God. She's on her. She's like, girl, she's praying. She's happy. She avoided some drama. I give Shirley 3 to 5 years to come out of a haze. The embarrassment is crushing her ego. I really don't see her doing like a film thing because she would, or you know what it's going to be. One of you guys in this chat is a film, wants to write a screenplay and someone's going to option the rights. You know what I mean? Like a Will Smith, like maybe not Will Smith. Let's just Pookie Jones, who got a couple extra dollars, is going to option it for Tubi, and basically just go based off of what the bloggers and what has been out in the media so far. That's how it's going to go. Guys, are you guys just settled in on Fulton County and state of Georgia? Because we've got almost 400 votes and we've got almost 900. There's 864 of you guys. Vote, 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 vote. Unless you guys just concur that it is Fulton County. His biggest problem right now is the government. It's just the Fulton County and the state of Georgia is not playing, and it is what it is. And 69% of you are like, period. Because even the bigamy, that's basically going to be the state. That's going to be South Carolina. Well, South Carolina is where he got married, right? Did he get married in South Carolina too to Carol, or is she a Georgia wife also? No. Okay, so one was in Aiken County, and that's not far from Augusta. He's from Augusta, Georgia. Look on a map, guys. He's from Augusta, Georgia. He got married in Aiken County, South Carolina, and that's not far from Augusta, Georgia. So when I heard that, it actually kind of was like, I was like, well, Aiken, South Carolina is not far from there. I'm in Charlotte. So, and then Augusta to Atlanta is not far as well. Well, it's small, but it's just on the tally. You know what I'm saying? It's on that tally of crimes. 1 to 10 years is no, is not a problem. You know what I mean? If they just throw that in for good measure, I mean that could be up to an additional 30 years. So it's small potatoes on top of the capital cases. Obviously, it's not that serious. It's not as serious as adolescents being victimized and all of those things. Absolutely. But it's just part of the tally of, sir, you pretty much, they're going to be sending you home in a box. Like, I hate to say it like that, but it sounds like if he has, if he gets convicted of everything that he is accused of, the man is in his, he's 58, 59. What if they give him 25, 25, let's say he gets 50 years and he has to serve 25. You know what I mean? 85 in a prison. I mean, he might make it to 85, who knows, but it's pretty much a wrap. 20 years, it's a wrap. He might feel like 10, like he's been in over a year. Yeah, I mean, Maria, it's kind of a wrap. If he beats his charges, okay. Well, his birthday's in January, so I think he got married at 50, so he'll be 59 this birthday, right? So it's I don't feel sorry for this man because he's done a lot. He's amusing, but you have to remember that a lot of these men are in the position that they're in. People like him because they are charming, right? It's that suave that they have, that suave demeanor that makes the ladies kind of relax and you know do things that in their right mind they know that they should not have any business dealing with this type of guy, like writing a check or giving him some credit or letting him have some money or going into business with him. Or he's smooth, thank you, Kenneth, absolutely. He's got, but we've heard him in calls say he can be a monster. He's got that girl. But even though it's a mush mouth, he got that mouthpiece. Okay. He's got that mouthpiece and it makes it goes, and then he might have he's got the bedroom game. You know what I'm saying? He seems like he's been Mr. Loverman. So he's got a couple things. Okay, let's go back to the list. So you guys are riding with, yeah, it's the law. The law is in charge right now. Okay. So is Shirley Thug Mrs.? It's either way. She was knowingly, unknowingly. Shirley, you are Thug Mrs. Boo Boo. You got some Thug Mrs. Where's the money? We know Shirley's getting garnished, and she has liens and everything. Did he make? Where's all the cars? We know that they confiscated her truck. We know that they've confiscated some things. I don't know if they came for the 18 wheeler. I don't know if they came for the RV. We don't know if they came for the box truck. We don't know. We don't know. Let me pull up the TMZ video. Let me see if I can find it. He said he hadn't made it to TMZ, but I was like, Lamont, Dion, I beg to differ because you guys were on TMZ. They were talking about Shirley and the damn evictions, and that was crazy, right? Back in 2017. Okay. All right, let's go there. Uh, okay. Here we go. sued for being a deadbeat tenant. Shirley Strawberry. She had a little bit, she was looking a little different there. Um, okay, let's look at this. So there's Shirley. Steve Harvey's right-hand woman. So this is dated October 28th, 2017. Steve Harvey's sidekick sued for being a deadbeat tenant. Okay. Steve Harvey's right-hand woman on the morning radio show was months-long freeloader when it came to rent and then bounced when the landlord put his foot down. This according to a new suit. Shirley Strawberry, who appears on the Steve Harvey with Steve on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, is being sued by a homeowner's leasing agent, Pacific Shore Property Management, claiming Shirley and her hubby were deadbeat tenants. In the docs obtained by TMZ, PSP says Shirley had a 1-year lease for $7,500 a month. Shirley paid the first month's, but May's payment was 25 days late. After that, Shirley paid zilch. The homeowner tells TMZ Shirley made nothing but excuses about why rent was late. The owner adds sheriffs finally came to evict her in September. She signed a 1-year lease. She paid the first month's rent. So that would have been April, but May's was 25 days late. So she paid April. May was 25 days late. So June, July, August. Fast forward to September, the owner adds sheriff finally came to evict her in September, but Shirley bounced minutes before they arrived. Pacific Shore is suing for rent owed and late fees. We've reached out to Shirley. So far, no word back. Is there any other pictures? That's the house. Okay. Ma'am, it's like Shirley, there's a history here, sis. Like, you can't not know everything. You got to know something. Y'all been running around doing the most for a minute. Let's see if there's something else. Uh October. Um that's all I see from TMZ. So that was in 2017. Um, and I mean, who knows how many hits they got on that story? Because for TMZ not to be covering it at all, since there's really nothing there about Shirley, um, it's kind of, let's see. That's the one story. They're not covering it. There's nothing, no content found. No content found. The one thing, it's kind of clicks and views. And at the end of the day, if nobody was really interested, Shirley's not a superstar for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So she's kind of a B story. I mean, no offense. I'm not trying to be mean about it. I think you guys understand. She's not like headline news for a lot of people. For some people, she is. But for most people, they're not even. But, again, we've talked about why people are checking in on this story is damn juicy as hell. Okay. So it surpasses Shirley Strawberry to me. It's not a Shirley Strawberry thing. I don't have anything against her. I've seen people in the comments here and there. What do you have against Shirley? I don't have anything against Shirley. I don't know Shirley and Shirley don't know me. But what we know is that there is some foolishness going on and it's juicy. Okay. It's juicy and it's very messy and people are interested. Okay. There's a lot of cheatation going on. There's lying. There is bigamy going on. There's so much going on here. I mean, and girl, this is YouTube. This is what we like. This checks so many boxes of what is considered to be YouTube juicy, and an endless supply of juicy information. We got lawyers out here with channels pulling documents. We got people calling in tea, identifying themselves as wives. There is all kinds of phone calls. We have there's I mean, it's so much. It's not even about Shirley anymore, okay? I mean, the fact there's some tea that Shirley was running her mouth on Steve, that's almost not even relevant to the situation. Like Steve has successfully gotten himself out of the conversation. Well, it wasn't even leaked phone calls. That was the spin that they tried to put on it. It was the freedom of information. It was the $10. It is the request um from the county of Cobb, where all you have to do is go to their website, girl. That's all you got to do. Girl, I just sent $10 yesterday for something, and when I get it, I'll let y'all know. I mean, at the end of the day, Crazy Bone died. What happened to him? Oh my goodness. Well, RIP. We'll have to look into that. That's sad news. Girl, the hat is everything. And she was probably at some sort of fashion show. They love to hit the runways and everything, but RIP to Crazy Bone. Okay. That's sad news. Jay Bliss, they said during being with Nesto. Everyone been trying to warn Shirley, even called the radio station. Steve and Ray could have seen this. Look, there's a lot of people that say a lot of things, and they're crazy, they're a troll, they're this, they're that. You know how it goes. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And at the end of the day, I heard that he attended and graduated from college with one of the wives. That would be Edith. They, I guess, dated in some college, and they opened up some sort of a detailing business. I think I'm not sure. Is there proof he attended? Because, girl, maybe it was some sort of business secretarial, mechanic. We don't know what kind of college it was. It could have been trade school. Like it could have been post secondary. He took mechanic and trade courses. We don't really know. I don't he is not a scholar. Okay. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. She didn't even want to know uh how much she knew. Wait for it. Real talk. I have nothing against her. I don't know her. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone been trying to warn her. Okay. They're saying he's still on life support. Oh, so what happened? Let's see. Now I'm sure that's on TMZ. Uh, let's see. Okay, well, that's not. Let's see. Okay, Crazy Bone is 7 hours ago. Let's see. Um, Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony is hospitalized. Manager confirms Bone Thugs and Harmony rapper Crazy Bone is in the hospital. The rap group's manager Bobby D confirmed Monday to the Times no additional details regarding the musician's condition were revealed. Confirmation comes days after Crazy Bone, real name Anthony Henderson, reportedly checked himself into Los Angeles hospital Friday after coughing up blood. That's awful sign. Sources told the website the 50-year-old underwent immediate surgery to stop the bleeding caused by a leaking artery in one of his lungs. TMZ reported Monday that the East 1999 rapper was placed in an induced coma and will undergo a second procedure to deal with the internal bleeding. So he's not dead, I guess, at this moment, or maybe he is. Um, oh my goodness. Crazy Bone revealed in 2016 that he was battling sarcoidosis. According to the Mayo Clinic, the disease is characterized by the growth of granulomas, tiny groups of inflammatory cells in any part of the body, most commonly in the lungs and lymph nodes. It is unclear whether the producer's hospitalization is related to the sarcoidosis. Um, as reports of Crazy Bones hospitalization spread the weekend, members of the rap community and fans shared that their best wishes on social media. Bone Thugs and Harmony collaborator Busy Bones shared multiple fan supportive posts and read "Pray for Cray" to his Instagram. We wish him the best. I don't know if he is. Someone said RIP, so I don't know, if that is the latest news or not. But best wishes to the family, irregardless. Sarcoidosis is a horrible disease, and would not wish that on anyone. It's very bad. Um, Anyway, okay guys, let's keep moving ahead because I know some of you guys are girl, y'all are serious about like we stay on topic. But yes, RIP, and or let's just say best wishes until we know 100%, but um yeah, that's bad news either way. And I wish him absolutely the best. So we did just talk about the evictions. Let me pop that off the list. The TMZ story, let's pop that off the list. The Atlanta news coverage, you guys want to go and it's on the list, so we may as well go check that out. We did talk about Dre and Lamont Funny on the phone, but I'll leave that on there just in case we have some close. I felt like there were a couple things. I need to listen to it again tonight. If you guys or maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow when I do a reaction on another video. Um, so Dre and Lamont and some of their commentary about certain things. I did see some if piano praisers in here. I think I saw you say something like they need to stop talking about crimes in the live this morning, which I thought was definitely like legitimate when he said something about Lamont said something about robbing someplace and then came home the next day, got out on bond. And I love how they say bond instead of bond. He got his bond and then went and yes, it's bad. It's bad. I have a friend whose stepfather had it and suffered with it for many, many years. It was very bad. Um, but he talked about getting arrested for something out on bond and had a cookout the next day. I mean, just a mess, these guys. Okay. Let's look at what the coverage was once upon a time. Let me just look up Roswell. Ernesto Williams. Uh, well, they say when I just Googled Williams' initial charges, these encompassed gun possession, theft, fraud, and most troublingly, child pornography. This led to his arrest in 2022. As a consequence of these charges, Williams is serving a 23-month sentence. We didn't know he had a sentence. Who said that? Look, y'all. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure everything is copacetic. Yeah. Uh, so he's got a sentence now? Like, I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? You see this? That was 17 hours ago. So is that right here? Understanding Ernesto's charges in the gun possession. Initial charges. This led to his arrest in 2022, right? As a consequence of these charges, Williams is serving a 23-month sentence. Okay. So did that just happen? Is that new? That's new news? Okay. All right, let me see. What is this? Um, I don't know what publication I'm reading. I don't want to. Ernesto Williams' estranged wife, Shirley, Strawberry, co-host of series, currently finds himself incarcerated in Atlanta. Okay, so that's not accurate, but depends on when this was from. This is September 26th. That can't be accurate. It's the 25th right now. It doesn't even have the right date on it, so let's skip that. I don't like just kind of reading from anywhere online unless it's kind of like because it could just be anything from anyone, and I don't know what they're, you know what I mean? So we'll skip that for right now. We'll go back to it if we find it to be a credible source. Um, okay, let's go to this one because I think I've looked at this before. It's highlighted. But yeah, he was so excited to be on the news, right? Um, let's see what this is saying.
When you or your family is injured in a car accident, it can be stressful getting justice.
Okay.
A dozen people scammed out of $1 million. 2 people have been arrested on a number of fraud charges.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon talked to Roswell police about the pair's extensive business scheme and why they believe there are more victims.
Police say for years these two would convince people to give them money, and in return they would help them with their business or personal goals. But investigators say it was nothing but a scam.
I would consider them fraudsters.
Roswell police say for years Ernesto Williams and Erica King passed themselves off as experts in various fields.
And they would align themselves with their victims with promises of being able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings.
Detectives say Williams and King acted the part, and people paid good money for their services, but walked away with nothing. Police say it was all a scam.
More than a dozen victims and over $1 million in monetary and property loss.
Police say their investigation first started at this home on Pine Grove Road months ago. Investigators say after Williams and King hadn't paid rent for a while, detectives started looking into their financial transactions, and it led them to their extensive scheme. Police say they were convincing.
Individuals who have been doing this for a significant period of time and are proficient enough that they can make people comfortable and act against their better judgment.
Williams and King are now in jail, both facing multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and theft. Police warn if you want to grow your business, make sure you work with a legitimate company.
Try and go with very reputable businesses if you're trying to grow your brand, grow your business, so that you don't end up a victim.
Of those 12 fooled, some were here in Roswell, others across metro Atlanta, and even a couple out of state. And police believe there are many other victims. If you have had any dealings with King or Williams, call police. In Roswell, Denise Dillon.
If you've had any dealings with Williams, call police. Okay. All right, let's see. So on this day around October, so the days that he's talking about that, he was all over the news. I guess this is some of it. Let's see. Is there a video to run along with this? Roswell police searching for victims targeted in $1 million fraud scheme. I haven't seen anything else recently. Let's see if there's anything else. Oop, that's the one. $1 million fraud scheme. I wonder if there's any updates. Where's the updates? Are they still following this story? So Erica King, investigation early June this year, Roswell detectives began investigating into a reported rental fraud at a property 9 block of Pine Grove. As the investigation progressed, detectives uncovered what they call an expansive fraudulent business scheme that resulted in the arrest of 57-year-old Ernest Williams and 46-year-old Erica King. Erica Hughley Rothschild, both were arrested and booked into Fulton County on a host of fraud, forgery, and theft charges. Okay. But where is what's going on now? No updates. Okay, September 7th, truck seized to pay for husband's victims. We reported, okay, let's see. They might just be getting this from the phone calls. The messiness. This is from a publication, Lee Bailey's Your Web, Everything Urban and Radioscope. The messiness. Shirley, can you see this, guys? Okay. I have to flip back to make sure you guys could see. Here she is accepting some sort of award with Kevin Hart. Shirley Strawberry's truck and wedding ring seized to pay for victims, for her husband's victims. Okay. A recording of a phone call between, it's not a recording of a phone call, it is a phone call recording between Shirley and her jailed husband reveals that last year's police seized her truck and wedding ring. We reported previously that Ernesto Williams, 59, which he's 50. They're not getting all the dates right, but whatever. Was arrested in 2022 on fraud and child pornography charges, according to Media Takeout. A man bearing the same name as her husband, Ernest Williams, was arrested and charged with having child pornography on his computer, the outlet writes. As Sandra Rose reports, Williams pled guilty in June 6th of 2023. So he pled guilty on June 6th to felony possession of a weapon. He was sentenced. So he's done. So he's not, I mean, so it's not even that they're holding him anymore. He pled guilty to on June 6th, 2023 to felony possession of a weapon, and he's doing basically 2 years. So he may, I mean, they still need to catch up on time because he's got time served. I would imagine that they gave him credit of the time that he's already been sitting, and he had been sitting at that point almost a year. So he was arrested on July 5th. He pled guilty on June 5th. So that would have gave him almost a year of credit. So Strawberry 70, which I don't know that she's 70 yet, has been part of Steve's radio team for more than a decade. It's probably 20 years now. According to MTO, the comedian introduced Shirley to Ernesto, which she's alleging not. Harvey had even walked Shirley down the aisle at their wedding. Meanwhile, Williams and his side chick, Erica King, 48, were charged with operating a credit repair scam. As Sandra Rose reports, King is out on bond and awaiting trial. I cannot wait. And then they've linked phone calls from prisons video. Look at that. In audio recordings of phone calls between Strawberry and her husband, she reveals police seized her truck outside the hair salon in Roswell, Georgia. What truck? Williams asked her. As reported by Sandra Rose. What do you mean, what truck? She responds, why would they do that? Anyway, okay. So we all know what happened because, girl, we were boots on the ground. Everybody, I'm sure everybody in this chat, you're here right now. We already know this, girl. We were listening to the calls as they were dropping, right? Okay. So Ernesto look, this is what we know. What do we know so far? Ernesto is starting to deal with his crimes. He pled guilty to something. So clearly he's doing time now. He's not just sitting waiting on something. He's actually doing a bid. He's actually he's in jail. And it doesn't matter about bonds are irrelevant now. He's got a 23-month sentence, but the 23 months um is ticking down because he's already basically done a year. So they need to hurry up with whatever else they got for him. And that's pretty much probably how it's going to go. I mean, he's screwed. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's screwed. And your sound is much better. I remember I couldn't hear anything from your videos. Really? What do you mean? Are you talking about my actual sound or you're talking about the video replays? I don't know if maybe about a week or so ago, StreamYard was having some problems. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I really do try to make sure you guys can always hear me and the quality is good. Now, as far as the jail phone calls, and I mean that's tough because sometimes sir is in probably on those payphones or in a more of a gathering spot versus on that tablet. I think he has a tablet now. So the calls sound much better, but initially, it was pretty bad, the sound quality. So, but I appreciate you bubbling that up. Thank you. Shirley ain't new to this. Shirley, true to this. Her name just ain't never dropped. Yeah, I this isn't her first rodeo. Look, you don't just all of a sudden fall up on an Ernesto. You know what I mean? I think when you know that like you're dealing with someone who's got businesses and this and has a criminal record and you know what I'm saying? Like I think that there were signs and not necessarily bad signs and not necessarily signs that she's into something, but you knew your husband was not into everything legal and he's not, look, that's on her. She's the one who really has to reconcile a lot of this. Let's see if we made it through our list. Is there anything I'm forgetting? We did address Sis's question from the end of the live this morning. If you didn't catch the live that I did this morning reacting to Ernesto's the call that was dropped from phone calls from prison. Go check it out. I think you know what? I'm just gonna drop my playlist. I have a whole entire playlist of everything that I've been dropping, Ernesto, Shirley, this whole situation. Um, and I will drop that right now so you can stay fully caught up. If you're just now coming into this and you're like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get caught up? This is so juicy, but I just cannot. This seems like a lot. It's not. We got you. Okay. We got okay, wait one second. Let me get this playlist and get the link to it. And you guys let me know down below, am I missing anything? So we can any additional questions before we shut this thing down. Because we are approaching almost 2 hours, guys. But it's such a pleasure to talk to y'all. It's so much fun. You guys have such great comments. Um, I'm for certain the ones in Roswell were YouTube. Okay. Huh. You mean courtesy of the bloggers? Okay, so I just dropped the reaction video from this morning. So if you haven't caught that yet, go ahead, get into it. Um Let me pin it right here. So if you made it to this point of the live, it is pinned up top. Guys, 541 of you guys have voted. And let me go to my phone. Okay, so Atlanta news coverage, we checked off on that. Dre and Lamont were so funny. I just dropped the link to that. So I've kind of made it through my list tonight. Let me see if you guys have anything for me. Um, I feel like we talked about a lot. There's definitely a lot of tea out there. If you haven't checked out the Pam Esquire, the Law Intellect, she has a very good channel. If you have not checked out, thank you, Tanya. If you have not checked out Chronicle Speaks, obviously she does a lot of entertainment reporting. This has definitely been on the menu. She dropped some tea today regarding the very first wife that I don't think any of us knew about because we thought it's Carol. Like, who thought the man was gonna have 4 wives? Okay. Um, let me see. Oh, wait 1 second. I just got a uh I just got a message. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Okay. So someone just sent me a message regarding the child corn, and I'm saying using it with a C for obvious reasons. Um and that it did include animals, and you are 100% correct. That is absolutely true. The depictions are of four-legged creatures who are being enticed by peanut butter and all kinds of things, and they're being enticed to do things to minors in that are very lewd acts that do not need to be depicted for anyone's viewing pleasure of a normal mental status. Okay. Um Awful. Okay. Um so absolutely. So thank you for bubbling that up. And but yeah, roll back a little bit. We talked about that a little bit earlier. But yes, that is one of the things. That is one of the things. So thank you to the good viewer that just reached out regarding that matter. Did not just fall off the turnip truck, regardless of how she's behaving. She can play innocent all she wants. At the end of the day, phone records, bank records, all the data that they collect on these things don't lie. And if Shirley is going to cooperate, then maybe they will take that into her credit. Otherwise, she's going to have to talk, and she may not have marital spousal immunity because technically, dear, you are not married. Now, she believed to be married, so I don't know if it's a safer thing for her to basically wait for this thing to play out and then do her paperwork. But at the end of the day, she could be held with some responsibility if she even has a dime. Somebody might want to take it from her because they may feel a way and feel like if she's got 2 nickels to rub together, they're going to come and take them. So that's going to be her problem. He just might need a Tubi movie. Girl, this could be a whole Tubi movie, okay? This may not even go to trial. Numbskull Nesto looks like he's going to snitch and maybe try to negotiate a deal, and it doesn't seem like he's got the best lawyers in town. He's not. I don't know if Michael Sterling is over there taking his calls. Eva Marcel's ex-husband, or soon to be ex-husband. I don't know if their deal has gone through, but I don't know that he has Michael Sterling. Okay. Because I'm sure he can't afford it at this point. Okay. Um, Anything else? Let's see. Shirley's been around Steve and Marjorie. She learned something. If she would have been on the Marjorie plan, Shirley would be over in Dubai somewhere with her very wealthy husband that would never have put her in this type of situation. Okay. Nothing. So far removed. But girl, she had to be with Nesto. She thought being with a guy named Nesto was cute. Okay. Exactly. He's got Fed charges. It's Fed, state, and Fulton County, where Fulton County they are not playing. Shirley been around. Yes. Okay. Let's see. That's the reason attorney dropped him. Okay. Him being a rat is the reason the attorney dropped him. His police, he's PD now. Really? Well, maybe they're like, you don't need me anymore. Maybe he's got other fish to fry in other cases. Like if we're not fighting and you're talking, then maybe you don't need me. Interesting. Interesting. The feds will probably rearrest him by the time his bid is up. Trafficking. Yeah, I think that him, I don't want to say cornered, but him accepting and pleading guilty and copping to 23 months gives them adequate time for them to do what they need to do to get everything else for him to still not be able to walk out. Wow. Now I'm going, wow. Okay, let's see what else. Shirley, Steve better get the rights to this movie. Oh, well, they have their own rights. I mean, people can talk about what you had going on. But as far as, it could be based on a true story. But as far as using her name and everything, yeah, they would have to. But yeah, they should option their rights. They have their rights. They should option them, sell them, because they're not going to do anything with it. Um, Did Steve buy some new gym equipment or is he still huffing and puffing? I think they have a whole gym. I think Steve is busy smoking his cigars and enjoying all that good food in France and Abu Dhabi and all of the exotic places that they like to go. And on that farm that he has where he likes to go hunting and just doing all the things. Nesto is not stitching because he likes the street cred. He's a whole clown. Who's he going to snitch on? I don't think he may know about other things. It's like, what do you have to trade? So maybe it's not necessarily his business dealings, but maybe he knows he's got some information that's worth something. I don't know. About what about the document seen to set other charges aside for the sex crimes to move forward? I don't know anything about it. Is that over there on Pam Esquire Law Intellect? I'll have to go over there and see what she was talking about. Some of the people who got all into details with Nesto did so on the strength of Shirley's name. She took fine not to have money. Um, she took a fine not to have money. So you think that she's negotiated paying fines to be able to not have to deal with her potential responsibility in this matter? I retired 32 years with a pardon slash pro. Let's see. Tell us more about that, Auntie. Backdoor action. What in my Nesto? Well, he says he's in a single room. Well, he's in a single room with a one bunkie, right? Ernesto borrowed $25 because he claimed he was a Venezuela migrant. What? I see Tyler Perry up in Shirley's ear for the rights. Girl, that is a whole Medea goes to the jailhouse episode. And meets up with some lady from the radio station crying. Like, baby, what's going on? Tell me what happened. No, that's the guy who took my money. That's a whole Medea. Medea almost goes to jail. Blacksmith on the court docs that stated that he worked an investigation with the feds. Then when Big Meech and his crew were wanted, Ernest paid attorney dropped him when that came out. He has PD now. What is PD? No, Shirley, stop paying the lawyer $2,500 a month. You just made me delete what I was about to type. Okay, Shirley may as well buy Ernie a blanket and girl, a mess. Pam Esquire said some charges were dropped and were sent to specialized units like sex crimes. I did see that. Yes. I knew I was missing someone. Not possible 23 months because on those crimes he's a repeat offender. Steve looks amazing at 68. I think those 23 months he copped to because he already knew he had to, and maybe they just had like, look, what's the point? Can you save us a buck? Because we getting ready to rip into you on the next one. So maybe, yeah. Erica said he's gonna spend the rest of his life in prison. If not, he's not getting out before he's probably gonna be like 75, 80 years old. Let's see. DJ in the last video out, the nature was still huffing and puffing. Auntie, he hasn't been tired. He hasn't been tried on all of the charges yet. There's still more coming. Um, I mean, if they negotiate with him and we, the people, do not get to sit and hear all the juicy details, I'm going to be mad. Um, he is the Svengali for the 60-year-old set. Okay. He's that kind of little younger dapper looking chocolate dude with probably like his son said is probably someone you done drop some dick in. I mean, it was bad, right? He knows the people who like to buy videos. I need an extra part for my weight bench. Oh, someone who's gonna be playing with him in the prison. With the sex crimes and trafficking, there is no snitching to get out of that. Yeah, maybe just to expedite things and move it where he can think like, okay, I got 10 years, I'll be out. But I don't think so. Unless unless they tell on someone. Unless he drops a dime, I would say what he could potentially get on some credit is where he obtained those pictures and who those people like where is he obtaining the child porn from, and rat on those people. um Anything that he knows about that to lead them. But I mean, if they're dissecting his computer, they're going to have all of the metadata and all of that stuff to be able to try to track it back. But if he has been a purveyor, um, or a cultivator of that type of illegal content, any information that he might have about that that could be helpful to saving lives, returning young women home, all of those type of things might be something he might be able to trade. I don't know. Um, all right, guys. It's a school night, so I gotta I think my husband just put our daughter to bed, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and shut this down. You guys leave your questions and comments in the comment section. Next time someone call in. Um, don't be shy. We had a couple of good call-ins like a week or so ago. But we'll try and do another call-in maybe tomorrow or one day this week. I don't have Even if I don't drop the call-in, if someone wants to call in, just let me know and I'm always happy to drop the call-in. But leave your questions and comments. I try to read everything. If I've read your comment, even if I don't like your comment, I'm gonna put a heart next to it. Even if you come to me with something like, whatever. We don't even have to all agree. When you see a heart, it means I read your comment. Okay. I try to answer back when I can, but you guys have been killing the comments, so I cannot answer everything. But if you got a heart, I read it. Okay. Um, so anything you want to drop in the comments, please feel free to do so. I think you guys are awesome. If you're here and you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and subscribe to your girl. Help me grow my numbers. I appreciate you guys who hit the like button. I appreciate all of you in the bushes watching and supporting. It definitely means a lot and I appreciate all of it. And any information that you come with, I definitely try to review everything. Okay. So keep it coming. And, I respond to emails, all of those things. So just keep it coming and make sure you subscribe. Catch me in the morning over on Love Lies and Lace Fronts, where we do reactions, reviews, and commentary. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a phone calls from prison reaction first thing. If I don't, I will be doing, because I know there's two calls I really wanted to react to. So if I don't do it first thing in the morning, just have your notifications set. Come through anyway. But I will do a reaction at some point tomorrow to a phone calls from prison video. So if you enjoy those, meet me over there. Make sure to subscribe, hit your notifications. That way, when I do drop, go live. If you need something to pass the time at work, I'll be there. Okay. Guys, I hope that you have a good evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. This was so much fun. I hope I got to your comment. If I missed your comment, make sure to drop it down below and I will definitely talk about it. And that was fun. Okay. You guys are awesome. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. And I will see you guys next time. No, we didn't close out the poll. Girl, I'm starting to get tired. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys. We did not close the poll. So my bad. My bad. My bad. Um, 593 votes, guys. You guys, I mean, really, at the end of the day, we already know what the deal is. Ernesto's biggest problem is Fulton County, the state of Georgia, probably the federal government and California. It's the charges, right? It's the charges for everybody. That seems to be his biggest problem at the moment. Ernest is in big trouble. I will post this on my community post, the results. But basically there's 593 of you and 10% says his hero complex is his biggest problem. I think his complex is his biggest problem because without the hero complex, would we have someone who feels like they are privy to having 4 wives? Who not but a true narcissist would run around and marry wife after wife after wife after wife? Period. Still being married to the first wife, even though he's divorced from wife number 2 and 3. Those marriages were null and void because they were fraudulent marriages. So if he did not have a superhero complex, would someone who does not feel entitled to do anything and everything have indulged in the right to have 4 wives? Okay. It's the victims. It's him wreaking havoc through Atlanta, Buckhead, all of the things. And then also everything illegal. So yeah, Ernest's biggest problem, 10% superhero complex, 12% his 4 wives, 21% Buckhead and the victims, and 56% say it's Fulton County in the state of Georgia. So that's it, guys. That's what you guys said, and I agree with it all. 23 months right now. He copped to a 23-month sentence for gun charges and something else. We'll look into it. I think maybe the attorney Pam has something about it, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But we just read an article. So slide the bar back, and they were talking about on June 6th, he pled guilty to a felony gun charge, and he is doing a 23-month bid. He's no longer sitting and waiting. He is actually doing a bid and waiting for additional problems. His biggest problem is the chickens came home to roost. It's called karma. Okay, Black Snake Moan summed it right on up. Okay. Okay. You guys, audience participation is pretty incredible. So I just want to thank you guys. This is so much fun. Did we talk about Sonya tonight? We really did not, because just like most side chicks, girl, it's a whole afterthought, boo-boo. Side chicks get attention when nothing else is popping. Okay. So tomorrow we might have to have some side chick awareness. Okay. We will, Sonya, if you're in the bushes, boo boo, it's all about you. We will definitely come through on some side chick awareness. Are you still sticking with your man? What's going on? Yeah, we did not give Sonya any shine tonight. Sis. Oh well, sis. Okay. I mean, it's the 4 wives. My God, we didn't even have room for Sonya tonight. But anyway, okay, y'all have a good evening. I will see you guys in the morning. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. Thank you to everyone. You guys are amazing, and this was so much fun. Take care. Have a good night, guys. Bye.